Hello, Curtis Kelly here, and I'm so excited about our new course. Now, this is going to be the Neuroscience of Language Learning 2 Explorations. Now, in the first course, we talked about the basics, the social brain, how the brain learns language, how the brain learns, and we talked about some different methods for teaching language. And that was really interesting stuff, and those are the fundamentals. But now, this is course 2. And now we're going to look into some of the dark corners of neuroscience, some interesting things that few people know about related to teaching and the brain. Some good stuff. In fact, the modules for course number 2 are the developing brain, the neurodiverse brain, the teacher brain, and the language teaching methods brain, which is pretty similar to what we did in the first course, 4th module. Well, let me show you just a few of the things we're going to talk about. Not all, just a few. In the developing brain, we're going to start by talking about how brains develop, how things like myelination lead to 100 times faster firing speed. And we're going to talk about critical periods, of course. Notice I said critical periods because there's a lot more than just the one we talk about in our field. Another topic is going to be about why preschool teachers are probably, why preschool teachers are probably the most important teachers that kids will ever have. Youth will ever have, because that's where they start building executive functions. And of course, we're going to talk about the marshmallow test. Now, in the next module, the neurodiverse brain, some good stuff. Neurodiversity itself, but not the kind of diversity that you're used to, like disabilities, gender, race, politics. We're going to talk about other kind of diversities of the brain that most people just don't know about, like pattern seekers and empaths. And how that's made our jobs a lot harder, but at the same time, we've gotten a lot better. Other topics are going to be on 2 different types of brains. Amanda Gillis-Fruitaka is going to talk about adolescence, and Heather Kretschmer is going to talk about introverts. Some interesting things there too. Then we come to the teacher brain. And why are there different types of teachers? Some that are really strict, some that are really not strict. Well, that comes from the way our brains work at a very basic level. Our brains are always taking things we learned in our childhood and applying them to other things we learn as we grow up. And of course, teacher well-being. Oh, how can we not talk about that since our jobs have gotten so hard? And the way to maintain your well-being, you'll find, is very easy, but most people just don't think about. And finally, in the teacher brain, probably my favorite topic, but dealing with difficult learners. I had so much trouble in Japan dealing with certain learners, and I studied the psychology and motivation, and I've got it all for you in this interesting video. Okay, then we'll go on to the language teaching brain, language teaching methods brain, which is again like module 4 in the first course. We're just going to show you we just have lots of videos for you to choose from about teaching techniques. And of course, a new one is going to be about stories. Why our brains love stories, why we retain so much from stories, and just let's listen to a few stories. In addition to that, I'll talk about my specialty, teaching adults. Not the same as teaching kids because adults are non-dependent learners. Well, let's not forget what we did in the first course if you attended, which is we had lots of heartwarming videos in between each content video. This sort of illustrated the points that we'd been talking about. And we will touch your heart again with new YouTube videos. But not just that. I'm going to include some stories from my own experiences as a teacher, things I learned in Japan in my 50 years, and these are also kind of heartwarming stories. But maybe the best part every year is the live sessions. In fact, we like the live sessions so much, these are optional, but we like them so much we're going to increase them by 2 so we can have more times to meet. Another new addition is going to be a little extra in each module, something at the end that's interesting, short, and we hope that you might decide to watch. Okay, so that's our course. Join us now. Don't wait. Go to IDD Pro now and sign up. If you have a problem with money or something, just let us know. We'll work something out. But we really want to see you in this course with all the other teachers around the world because we're going to have such a good time. So that's it. Thank you very much. Curtis Kelly. Hope to see you in a few weeks when we start the course.